Alright, what's up everybody? It's your boy Keenan. Welcome to the Pro Football Exclusive NFL blog. Continuing my grades for each team for their selections of this year's NFL draft. I'm going to head up to the NFC North Division. This is another pretty good division. I'm going to start with the Minnesota Vikings. I think they had a great draft this season. Starting with their first pick, Matt Khalil, the offensive tackle out of USC. He is the prototypical tackle and the top interior lineman in this year's NFL draft. And I really think because of his size and his technique, he would definitely fill in a good need for Christian Ponder in that passing attack. Ponder was pummeled a lot last season, dealing with a lot of sacks. And I think with Matt Khalil protecting his blind side, those sacks will definitely decrease this upcoming season. Now, they had a second first-round selection at the end of the first round at pick number 31, trading with the New England Patriots, and they picked up Harrison Smith out of Notre Dame. This kid would definitely support that run, and he has great cover skills, a good all-around safety. He would definitely be all over the field. Now, they picked up another safety in the later rounds, also from a cornerback, also from Notre Dame, Robert Blanton, but I think he's going to convert to the safety position, either free or strong safety, depending on where Harrison Smith will be. I think Harrison Smith is more of a strong safety, but I think Blanton can definitely convert to a free safety, but he's going to have to work his way up. Harrison Smith will definitely start right away, but Blanton's going to have to earn that starting role for the Vikings secondary. Now, sticking with the defensive side, they picked up a couple of great players in the secondary. I already mentioned Smith and Blanton, and they picked up Josh Robinson out of UCF. This kid runs a 4.33 40. He has great speed. He would definitely close into the football and cause a couple of pass breakups. Because of that speed, this is going to be a great addition for the cornerback position for the Vikings, because they had to release Cedric Griffin, so they definitely had to fill in that void, and they did a great job picking up Josh Robinson. A lot of people have Josh Robinson as one of the top 5 cornerbacks coming into this year's NFL draft. Now, I'm going to head to the offensive side. They picked up a good fullback out of USC, Rhett Ellison, but I think he's going to convert to the tight end position because he is 6'4", a nice tall fullback, and I think he's going to convert into a blocking tight end. And I think because of his blocking ability, he would definitely open up holes for and cause problems for defensive linemen. And I think he's going to help pave the way for the running backs for the Minnesota Vikings because of his blocking ability. I think he's going to be used more as a blocking tight end, and sometimes drop out a little bit more, drop out a couple of times for a couple of passes. Now, they also picked up 2 good receivers out of Arkansas, Jarius Wright and Greg Childs. Childs has the more body size advantage against the receivers, and I think because of his body size, he could be a pretty good target for the Vikings. Also, Jarius Wright, he has great speed. He's more the speedster between the two, and I think this is a big upgrade in the depth chart for the Minnesota Vikings. Their top receiver is Percy Harvin, and he's going to need a supporting cast. So overall, for their selections, I'm going to give the Vikings a B+. I really think they had a great draft. Good job, guys. Next team to talk about, the Detroit Lions. I think they had a decent draft as well. A couple of wishy-washy plays I'm a little bit concerned about, but I'm going to start with their first selection. They picked up Riley Wright, the offensive tackle out of Iowa. Now, they have an aging offensive line. I'm talking about the Lions' offensive line. They have an aging offensive line, and this was pretty much of a steal in this first round, picking up Riley Wright so late at number 23 of this year's draft. And I really think this was a great steal for the Detroit Lions. Now, they picked up 3 players from Oklahoma in their draft. They picked up Travis Lewis as their final selection. They picked up Ryan Broyles in the second round pick, and they also picked up Ronell Lewis. I'm going to start talking about Travis Lewis. This kid, he is a great tackler. He had good productivity throughout his career in college football, except for his senior year. He had a little bit of a down year, and he runs a 4.88 40, and that's why he dropped to the 7th round. But I still think if he increases his speed, he could be a great addition to that linebacker core for the Lions. Next, when you talk about Ronell Lewis, this kid, his nickname is the Hammer because he can deliver a hit. He's not an outstanding pass rusher, but I think he could develop to be a good outstanding pass rusher at the outside linebacker position. And in the second round selection, they picked up Ryan Broyles, the wide receiver. He had 45 career receiving touchdowns at OU, a school record. This kid is a monster. The thing that messed things up was that he tore his ACL last season. He was actually a first-round selection, one of the top two wide receivers coming into the college football season last season. Him and Justin Blackman, and some people even have Broyles as the #1 guy because he's more of a nifty guy after the catch. And I really think because of that injury, his draft stock dropped a lot, but he still made it to the second round, and I think he had the potential to become a star in the NFL alongside Calvin Johnson. I think both these two players can work well together. It really depends on how well that recovery from that knee injury is, but we have seen it in recent years that when players have the knee injury, it doesn't they can still recover and still become stars and have good productive careers. And I really think Brian Broyles can have the same effect for the Detroit Lions. One more selection needed to talk about. They finally addressed the cornerback in the third round. They picked up Dwight Bentley. He's a little bit undersized at 185 pounds, but he's very athletic, great speed, fluid hips, and he has great agility. He's going to be a great cover corner for the Detroit Lions. In my opinion, I really like his skill. He's from Louisiana Lafayette, and I would definitely keep an eye on him, especially going towards the end of the college football season last year. And I really think this is going to be a great addition for that secondary. They definitely need to fill in the void at the cornerback position. I think Bentley's going to start right away. So overall for this team, I do have a little bit of wishy-washy with Brian Broyles to see if he's going to recover from that knee injury. Also, Travis Lewis, he needs to increase that speed. So I'm going to give the Detroit Lions a B-. Still a decent draft, but just a little bit concerned about both Lewis and Brian Broyles. Next team to talk about, I'm going to talk about the Green Bay Packers. I like their draft picks, especially how they address the defensive line. With their first pick, they went with defensive end from USC, Nick Perry. He's going to definitely be working well alongside Clay Matthews, another USC Trojan, and Kevin Green has another great pass rusher that he could utilize and tutor and teach the ways of how to become an effective pass rusher in the NFL, just like he did with Clay Matthews. And Clay Matthews will have a lot of pressure off of him. He had to deal with a lot of double teams, and the reason why they needed to go with the defensive end is because the Green Bay Packers were 32nd in the league, worst in the league against the pass because of the lack of the pass rushing ability that they had this past season. Clay Matthews had to deal with a lot of double teams. So with Nick Perry on the other side, that would definitely take pressure off of Clay Matthews. With the second selection, they went with Jarrell Worthy out of Michigan State for the interior lineman. I really think he could play a well 5 technique alongside B.J. Raji and help him out. And I really think this could be a great effect of that defensive line, plug in the holes and stop the run. And I really think this is a great addition for that interior lineman on the defensive side. Now they picked up Vanderbilt's Casey Haywood, the cornerback from Vanderbilt. I think he's going to be an ideal cover 2 player. He's a smart kid. He definitely has high play recognition ability, meaning he could definitely make a play towards the football. I think this is a great addition for that secondary. Now they finally addressed the offensive line in the later rounds when they picked up Florida State University offensive tackle Andrew Daka. The reason why he slipped so low in the NFL draft is because he had to deal with injury issues last season. But I still think that Daka is a good offensive tackle, a great addition for that O-line for the Packers. Now their final selection, they went with B.J. Coleman, the quarterback out of Tennessee, Chattanooga, and I think he could be that backup quarterback for Aaron Rodgers, depending on the Colt McCoy situation. He might actually sign with the Green Bay Packers. We will see. Those are just rumors from the Cleveland Browns, but we will see, and I'll keep you guys posted on that. So overall for the Green Bay Packers, I'm going to give them a B. I really think they had a good solid draft, especially with the defensive linemen Nick Perry and Jarrell Worthy. And finally, the Chicago Bears. I really did not like their draft overall. Starting with their first pick, they did pick up a good defensive end to work opposite of Julius Peppers. They went with Shea McClellan out of Boise State, but they had the opportunity to pick up good offensive tackles to help out Jay Cutler in that passing game. Like I just mentioned earlier, Riley Wright out of for the Detroit Lions. They could have picked him up at number 19. Also, David DeCastro out of Arizona, out of Stanford. He eventually went with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I really think the Bears had a clear shot to pick up a great offensive lineman and a steal for the first round, but they decided not to go with that, and I thought that was a stupid decision. Now, in the second round, they did address the offensive side and picked up a great receiver, Alshon Jeffrey out of South Carolina. Now, he did not do too well last season compared to 2 seasons seasons ago, but I really think this is going to be a great addition. It's along with Brandon Marshall to help out the pass, to help out the options for Jay Cutler. He definitely needs some support in that offensive side. Now, on the third selection, they picked up Oregon safety Brandon Harden. I apologize for that. And I was shocked about this selection because he did not play last season because he had shoulder surgery. I thought that was a bad choice. I really did not understand that. And the fourth pick, they went with Evan Rodriguez, the tight end out of Temple. I really think he can develop to be a decent tight end or H-back for the Chicago Bears, but we will see. Anything can happen. So overall, I'm not really impressed about this in their overall draft because they did not even address the offensive line at all. That was stupid when they had a clear opportunity to pick up the Castro or Riley Ralph. Come on, Chicago. I told you guys you needed an offensive lineman. And I went with the offensive lineman for their first pick for my mock draft, but they decided to go against what I said. Whatever. So overall, I'm going to give this team a C-, and I think I'm being nice at that. I think it's really a D+. Shane McClellan is a good defensive end, but I really think they should address the offensive side to help out Jay Cutler. So overall, I'm going to give them a C-. Now, the next time I'm going to catch you guys is later on today to wrap up the NFC side with the grades with the NFC South Division. Thank you for watching today's vlog from Pro Football Exclusive. I'm your man, Akeem McCall. BE.